Why do we stay in bad relationships? Discover the emotional pitfalls that bind you to a toxic relationship. Learn to recognize the warning signs, seek help, and build a better life. Have you ever found yourself in one of those moments when your inner voice whispers that something is amiss in your relationship? The sensation of being ensnared in a bond that seems to drain more than it offers is common, yet no less distressing. It's like being in an emotional labyrinth, where the walls are constructed with uncertainties, fears, and doubts. Sometimes these labyrinths bear familiar names: bad relationships. Know that you are not alone. Many of us have found ourselves trapped in relationships that clearly weren't serving us well. But why do we persist in staying, even when we know we should leave? In this article, I invite you to delve into the complex universe of bad relationships. We'll unravel the layers of emotions and the intricate threads that keep us bound. We'll discover the reasons behind this persistence, explore the emotional complexities involved, and most importantly, learn how to take the first steps toward positive change. Prepare for a journey of self-discovery and empowerment, for the path to your liberation begins here. 1. Fear of solitude, the power of company. Solitude is one of the most universal and profound emotions a human being can face. It's as if we're standing on the edge of an abyss, fearing the silence and the absence of presence by our side. At times, the fear of solitude leads us to endure relationships that clearly do not bring us happiness. We prefer to endure someone's presence, even if it's toxic, rather than face the emptiness and uncertainty that solitude can bring. At this juncture, companionship, even if inadequate, may seem like a balm for the soul, a temporary antidote to the pain of being alone. It's crucial to understand that the fear of solitude should not imprison us in relationships that do not emotionally nourish us. Instead, we should explore healthy ways to deal with this emotion and seek relationships that truly bring us joy and fulfillment. The journey toward emotional freedom begins when we confront this fear and learn to value our own company above all else. 2. Emotional investment, submerged in memories. As time progresses, we not only dedicate our time but also our emotions to a relationship. Shared memories and moments of happiness can create an emotional bond that becomes difficult to break. Even when the relationship deteriorates and becomes toxic, it's challenging to let go of what we've built together. This emotional connection often becomes an anchor that keeps us tethered to a bad relationship. Attachment to positive memories and the hope that things can return to how they once were prevent us from moving forward. Moreover, emotional investment can engender an intense fear of facing the reality of a breakup. We fear losing not only the person, but also the experiences and shared moments that have become part of our identity and history. Breaking away from a relationship in which we've invested so much emotionally can feel like dismantling a part of ourselves. It's a painful and challenging process that requires courage and self-awareness to recognize when it's time to let go. 3. Hope for change, belief in the partner's potential. It's common to encounter individuals who remain in detrimental relationships due to the hope that circumstances may improve. This hope is often grounded in the belief that the partner has the potential to change, to become the person we wish them to be. This faith in the other's potential for evolution keeps us engaged in the relationship, even when facts suggest otherwise. This belief in the partner's capacity for change may be fueled by a variety of factors, such as memories of shared happy moments, promises of change, or even perceived small acts of improvement over time. These faint glimmers of hope are sufficient to keep us emotionally invested in the relationship, in anticipation that one day everything will fall into place and the partner will become the person we idealize. It's important to recognize that this hope can morph into an emotional trap. Persisting in the belief in the partner's potential for change can lead us to overlook obvious signs that the relationship is harmful and unhealthy. We cling to an illusion of change, avoiding facing the harsh reality that some individuals simply are not willing or capable of change. Therefore, while hope for change can be a powerful driving force, it's essential to balance it with a realistic assessment of the situation. Recognizing when it's time to let go and prioritizing our own happiness and emotional well-being is a crucial step in the journey toward healthier and more fulfilling relationships. 4. Low self-esteem, feeling unworthy of more. Low self-esteem plays a significant role in our ability to establish and maintain healthy relationships. When our self-image is impaired, it's easy to convince ourselves that we deserve only what we receive, even if it means accepting negative and detrimental situations. We feel unworthy of love and happiness, so we end up settling for relationships that clearly do not serve us well. Erroneously, we believe this is the best we can achieve, limiting our perspectives and resigning ourselves to a reality that doesn't emotionally fulfill us. This self-deprecating mindset creates a cycle of self-sabotage, where we continue to subject ourselves to harmful relationships because we believe we don't deserve more. Thus, low self-esteem acts as a barrier to self-awareness and personal growth, preventing us from seeking the happiness and well-being we truly deserve. It's essential to recognize the impact of low self-esteem on our relationships and seek ways to cultivate a more positive and healthy self-image. By developing greater self-confidence and self-acceptance, we become more capable of establishing healthy boundaries and seeking relationships that uplift us and truly make us happy. 5. Social pressure, fear of judgment. The weight of social pressure often becomes a significant factor, influencing the persistence in detrimental relationships. The apprehension of others' judgment, the stigma associated with the notion of failure or loneliness, can exert a formidable influence over our decisions. The fear of being seen as failures or lonely by society often leads us to tolerate unsatisfactory relationships. We choose to endure a detrimental situation, even if it means sacrificing our own happiness, simply to evade critical scrutiny and potential disapproval from those around us. This social pressure can be even more intense in cultures or communities where norms and expectations regarding relationships are rigid and inflexible. The need to fit in or uphold an idealized image can keep us trapped in situations we know to be harmful but fear to leave due to apprehension of external judgment. It's important to understand that the pursuit of external validation should not override our emotional well-being. The decision to stay or leave a relationship should be based on our own needs and happiness, not on others' perceptions of us. After all, true fulfillment comes from authenticity and the courage to live according to our own values and desires, regardless of external expectations. 6. Uncertainty about the future. The unknown is daunting. The uncertainty that the future carries often fills us with apprehension and fear. In many cases, this concern about the unknown leads us to choose to remain in detrimental relationships, even if we acknowledge their toxicity. This is because the prospect of what lies ahead can be extremely intimidating. Even though it's painful, uncertainty keeps us tethered to what is familiar simply because it is known. The prospect of facing the unknown can be overwhelming, prompting us to prefer the relative security of the present, however challenging it may be, rather than risking encountering an uncertain future. This reluctance to confront the unknown can be even more pronounced when we feel emotionally vulnerable or helpless. The fear of what might happen if we step out of our comfort zone often prevents us from seeking positive change in our lives, even when we know it's best for us in the long run. I am in a bad relationship, what should I do? If you have found yourself reflecting on the aforementioned topics and recognized your situation in a detrimental relationship, it is time to consider concrete actions to promote positive change in your romantic and emotional life. Firstly, it is essential to acknowledge that you deserve a healthy relationship based on mutual respect, emotional support, and genuine happiness. By identifying the harmful patterns present in your current relationship, you have already taken the first step towards transformation. Next, it is crucial to seek support and guidance. This may include talking to a mental health professional, such as a psychologist. Sharing your experiences with others can provide valuable external perspective and offer the emotional support needed to make assertive decisions. Furthermore, it is fundamental to establish clear and assertive boundaries in your relationship. Define what is acceptable and what is not, and be prepared to enforce your boundaries, even if it means taking steps to distance yourself from the relationship. Remaining in a bad relationship may seem easier in the short term, but in the long run, it only deprives us of true happiness and fulfillment. It is time to prioritize our emotional well-being, even if it means facing the unknown. Never forget, you have the right to pursue your happiness and well-being. Under no circumstances should you feel obligated to remain in a situation that harms your mental and emotional health. Frequently asked questions. Question 1. How can I determine if I am in a detrimental relationship? It is imperative to heed warning signs such as lack of communication, disrespect, emotional or physical manipulation, and absence of mutual support. If you feel unhappy, undervalued, or constantly stressed in your relationship, you may be in a detrimental situation. Question 2. Is it selfish to exit a detrimental relationship? No, prioritizing your emotional well-being is not selfish. Exiting a detrimental relationship may be a difficult decision, but it is a necessary step for your long-term mental health and happiness. Everyone has the right to seek healthy and fulfilling relationships. Question 3. How can I overcome the fear of loneliness after a breakup? Feeling fear of loneliness after a breakup is natural, but remember that being alone is not synonymous with being lonely. Seek support from friends and family, engage in activities that bring you joy, and consider therapy to work through these emotions. Question 4. Is there any way to salvage a detrimental relationship? In some cases, it is possible to improve a detrimental relationship through open communication, mutual commitment, and couples therapy. However, this requires effort and willingness from both parties. If the relationship is abusive or irreparable, it is important to consider the possibility of ending it. Question 5. How can I boost my self-esteem and feel deserving of a healthy relationship? Work on your self-esteem by practicing self-care, recognizing your qualities and achievements, setting healthy boundaries, pursuing hobbies and activities that interest you, and remembering that you deserve love and respect. Therapy can also be beneficial in strengthening your self-esteem and confidence. We have reached the end of the audio. Why do we stay in bad relationships? Did you like this content? Share with someone who needs support right now.